now we're going to show how to use the title block editor. So you can open the title block editor by going to the workflow G.Interface Tools and hitting the title block editor. Okay, so the first time you come in here, you won't see anything in the screen here, so you're going to go click Project New, and internally you would be hitting ProjectWise. I'm doing this outside of ProjectWise, and some consultants would be as well, so I'm using the file system here. So it's going to it's defaulting to the folder where I opened the last file that I opened. So you would want to save this course in your project file folder, and probably would want to call it PI number. Perhaps TBE for title block editor. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that in here. Alright, so at this screen it's asking you to add the DGN file. So what this means is, or files, so you can create a single project file, which is the file that we just created, and you can use it on all of your sheets. So you don't need to create a new project file or separate project files for each DGN. You can always come back and add DGNs. So right now I'm going into this folder. I'm going to add this file. I'm going to highlight it, and then I'm going to choose this extract title block fields to project data. If I had multiple files, I would need to select each one. So now it's extracted. So I'm going to close out of this builder dialog box, and now we've got all of the title block information. So now we can go over the different commands and ways to edit your title block here. So first off, you can see here under the model, it's got your model numbers here. You can see that it's out of order. So if I just click once on the header, it's going to put them in the correct order. And of course, you can modify the widths of the columns if you need. Okay. So the first thing I want to show is how to select and put your the section number for section number and section name. This is all standardized under this little section right here where it says section. So you can decide what section of my plans am I working on right now. For me, it's this 13 construction plan. So in order to apply this, it's going to automatically going to put 13 for your section number here, and the section name is going to be construction plan. So the only thing you have to do now is you want to select all the rows that you want this to be copied into. By single left clicking, really any row, I can do it here, single left click, hold, and drag. Okay, and the reason why you got to hold and drag is that if you do a single click and then I click again, now you're in edit mode for that cell and you're not able to select anything else. So whenever you want to, if you want to modify a particular cell in this, it's essentially a spreadsheet, you double click or single click and then single click again, and now you're in edit mode. Okay, so again, I'm going to go ahead and single left click, hold, drag down all the rows, because all I'm working on right now is the Series 13. So now there's two ways I can get this information. I can now right click and choose apply section, which is going to put this in here. Okay, or after having, you still have to have the the rows selected. So now I can go up here and I can say, I can just click on this plus button right here. So now you see it's added construction plan under the section name, 13 under the section number. If you look down here, nothing's updated in my sheet models yet, but I'm going to show you how to do that later. And also you may notice this exclamation point up here. That just means you have unsaved changes. Okay. All right. So the next thing I want to show is how to increment your column. So over here you notice the drawing numbers are all blank, okay? Or not blank, but they're all quadruple zero. So I'm going to double click, come into this cell and just modify this to 1. And now I want to increment this down. So I'm going to left click, hold, drag down. And again, I can either right click and I see this increment column, okay? Or you also have this button up here, this increment column as well. So I can do that. And now you see it matches up. So now your drawing number down here is going to be correct for each of your models. All right. So now I want to show you how to do a copy down command. So now I can come over here, double click in the cell, and then double click again to highlight the whole PI number. And I'm just going to plug in the actual PI number for this project. So once again, I'm going to left click, hold, drag down. So once again, I can either right click and say copy down, or I can click this button right here, which will do the same thing. Okay, so you can do the same thing over here in your descriptions. So you can just put, you know, whatever in your description that you need. And then right click, copy down. All right, office ID. Okay, same command. All right, I think that's sufficient for those examples. Let's see. So there are other right-click menu items, such as so you can delete a row if you didn't need a row for whatever reason. You need to select the row first, and then you can right-click. Okay. The menus down on the right-click menu on the bottom here is going to cycle through. Most of these are cycling through different fields that you can modify. So if you go to all fields, you're going to see every little thing that's possible for you to edit using the TitleBlock editor. So it's quite a bit of stuff. And that's why it's broken out, so you don't see everything at once. So if you just want to see revision fields, well, that's what you select, revision fields. So that's going to get you all these guys down here. General fields is where we were at the beginning. The QA, QC fields is just what you would expect. I don't think the sheet info fields are ones that you need to modify. I think that's more for the code of the program. Okay, and the last one I wanted to go over is the open model. So if I wanted to, we're already actually in actually I'm not sure what model we're in. Let's just go open model. It's going to move to the model. So now we're at first model. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to show you how to synchronize all the fields. All right, let's go back to the general fields, because that's what we were modifying. So as I alluded to earlier, that this exclamation point up here means you have unsaved changes. So all you got to do is come over to the save button. So all these buttons over here you can pretty much get to over on this pull down menu over here. Everything I showed you can be gotten to in multiple ways. Okay, so this button right here is creating a new title block project. So it's like going file new, like what we did in the very first step. This button is opening a title block project, so it'd be like going project open. Okay, this one is editing the active title block project. Okay, if you needed to edit it. So that's going to bring up I'll just go ahead and bring it up. So if you wanted to extract another DGN file, you would just go and find it and then extract it. Okay, and then you would find new sheet models in here for you to edit. Okay, this button already saves it, so we already showed you that. Okay, and then so the button over here, so you can either sync all records to project file, which you don't have to select anything, or you can select a single. So if I wanted to just do this one, for example, actually let's go to the first one so you can actually see it live here. I'm going to just go select that. So I had to, sometimes you have to get out and come back into the file for it to recognize. So I go here and then come back. There you go. You see everything in there. Roadway design, got the description, construction plan, drawing number, series number, PI number. Everything is good to go. All right. And if I wanted to just go ahead and sync everything without having to select anything, select the rows at all, it just went ahead and synced everything. So now if I go down to 4, bada boom, bada bing, everything's there. And that's pretty much it. Nothing to do now except for I can close this out. There's no other saving that needs to take place. If you need to edit more files or edit these files again, all you do is again go to the title block editor. Now you see everything it's remembered and it's brought everything in. So don't even have to open the project file because it's telling me what project file is open right now. So you want to make sure that you've got the project file open that you had used previously before you start doing any edits. All right.